Welcome back to Nikki and John's podcast. We have a very special guest with us today, Jesse.
Yes.
Hello, guys. Glad to be here.
Today we're talking about Polar Express 2004.
As someone who's seen the movie and loved it to death when I was a kid, still to this day, I feel like it's one of the best Christmas movies.
Good?
Good.
Polar Express is a movie about a kid who has to come with the realization that he's getting older and that things are not as he thinks they are. He has to come to terms that Christmas is not what he thought it was be. Santa Claus isn't real, that he's losing the magic of what Christmas is supposed to be about. And the movie, I feel like the movie explores that journey that he has to take into going into adulthood.
But by the end of it, he's like, I believe. And that's why he gets the fucking stupid little bell.
Can someone put a frickin' bell on him or something?
I mean, you're not wrong. That does happen. But
And that goes against what you just said. So, let's see. All right. You may not agree with any of this. That's okay. All right. So, why is it a musical at the beginning? Like they're singing, there's a couple songs here and there at the beginning, and then when they get to the North Pole, there's no more singing.
The music died.
There's no more songs.
I
Was
mean,
it
I
something
feel like
and decided it wasn't going to be? I don't understand that.
I feel like it was to appeal. It's probably to appeal more to like the kids of it if they have like a song, like how Frozen has songs when they probably could have told the stories without any music. It helps sell more because it gets it inside the minds of the kids.
It stops halfway through, and then there's no more songs. So why start it with songs and not finish it with songs?
You have a point. You think they would start singing, but I feel like that's because it took some more tonal shift than everything because it's trying to help the kids believe in more of the songs and like show the magic of the train. But when they get to the North Pole, you already seen all of the magic that is taking place within the movie. So it's like now there's more of a shift to like what's the character development of like the hero girl in the story. How in the movie
all they do is go where they're not supposed to go.
Yeah, but also she learns a lesson because when she's on the train, right? Hero Boy, the main character, basically throughout the movie, like made her not believe in any of her choices. But in there, you actually see like, because the ticket that she had at the end of the movie was said lead, and she finally believed in herself instead of taking his cynicism of like, are you sure that you were supposed to be doing this? She took it to heart, and she actually became a leader in that moment. So because it took second part of the movie was to basically teach the kids what the value of the ticket was.
Hey, you've got it!
Okay.
And the first part was to introduce the magic of what the Polar Express is supposed to stand for.
But I think John has a point where a Christmassy feel with all the music and singing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to like whatever gathering is filled with people that is a really quiet crowd for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that there should have been a song there at that point to bring it back to where they started it.
It just had such a dead feel to me, this film. It was very creepy.
Creepy paper.
It's crepe paper.
Creepy paper.
It's crepe paper, master?
Creepy. Oh, multi-pack.
And like, another question I have is, why do the kids just go on a train that appeared on the street?
See,
Like to me, I'd be like, "That's a ghost train. I'm not getting on that."
like as a kid looking at this movie would be like, oh, I really want to go on the Polar Express because it has magic. I get to meet Santa. I guess that's a polarizing view, if you will.
Oh,
Unintended.
But
say the animation was pretty decent.
the
I
animation for its time was
thought,
really
yeah.
nice.
the time, like they say, the time frame that it came out, I think the animation was pretty decent for trying to gather what like Tom Hanks looks like, because you can tell Tom Hanks' character.
Yeah.
But my only other concern with is, why is Tom Hanks 3 characters?
Yeah.
Why is he the narrator, which is the kid, right,
Mhm.
growing up telling the story, and then Tom Hanks is the conductor, and then Tom Hanks is also the kid's father at the end of the movie?
And he's the hobo.
With the Polar Express, I feel like it hits one of its themes very well. Is that the fact at the end you seen that the parents couldn't hear the bell because they no longer believed in stuff like that. They believed in magic. They were more introduced to the real world.
Welcome to real life.
And when you look at the parent like Nikki, what you were saying, you looking at this movie versus the kids, it makes that point really well. The kids would be wrapped up in what it is and the whole fantastical part of the train, but the adults will see the train for what it was, that it was like a ghost, it this, is that, that. But the kids wouldn't have that knowledge to actually articulate that into thought. They'd be like, oh my gosh, this is just a movie about a kid who gets on a magical train.
Alrighty then.
You know? So it makes that point very well that it does divide the two of who believes in magic and who really doesn't believe in magic. And the belief in magic isn't like actual magic. It's the belief of like, what do you believe in something? And how hard it is to believe in that something, because I feel like we can all relate to that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I've actually written about this for papers, oddly enough.
Seriously, really? Okay.
But I mean, if you made a point and it was something influencing what you were trying to get at, the way that you explain it, you can tell that you have that emotional connection to this film, which is what I like to see people have, even if I don't agree with the film or I don't like it or whatever.
Yeah.
I still like the fact that you went and you're like, the emotional, when you're a kid and you don't, yes, everything, yes, that's like a big wrapped up gift right there is what you have.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, I'm hesitating, but I'm going to try this new experience. This has happened like where he wants to believe, but the other kid actually comes from a home to where he doesn't have a good life, because the other kid does have a good life. So for him to have the same problem as him, and what sets them apart is
that was like the reason the main character believed again, is to help this kid believe in it being a good thing, because he was a younger kid. He wanted to make him feel good about it.
Exactly.
I get that's like kind of like part of the plot and the story, but it's just the way the movie is presented and stuff. You'd have to really engage yourself in the movie to see that. And I don't think a normal audience would see that right away. And that's why I don't think that I give this movie like a 2.2 out of 5.
Things in this movie is very heavy-handed. Like, you would not, like, there's no room for speculation. And that is a good thing for kids, because they, have to explain it to them of what it is. But when you're trying to review or like go into it in depth more, you can't really explain more in the movie, because it's all on surface level, because it's all presented to you. It has no deeper meaning unless you look beyond the themes of the movie itself and how it represents.
Yeah.
It makes you feel emotionally.
Not that bad to me, but it's not a movie I'm going to pop back in and watch again.
Elaine, you don't like the movie?
I hate it!
The plot was kind of weird. And then I think the only satisfying part was when you get to see Santa and he's like fucking
He's a weak ass Santa.
You sit on a throne of lies.
But
Nigga, no, the Santa looks imposing. What? Santa just looked like the train conductor in a suit, essentially.
He did. He had no
With a
beard,
beard.
no bushy beard. Like he wasn't wrapped in love. It was like, who? Okay, this guy is definitely like one of those mall Santas. You get that? Well, I got that feel.
What if that was the point? Because in the movie, the boy actually questions whether this is a dream or not. In the beginning of the movie, we do see the dad playing Santa, and you wondering why does the dad appear throughout the movie and like Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is also the kid. Well, what if the movie is a giant dream?
Wake up, honey. There's no place like home.
Like, did they all have the same dream?
But that's the thing.
They're on drugs.
I'm on drugs!
Yes. he got into the wrong batch of cookies and milk.
Right.
The parent put out the edible cookies. Okay.
The kids were really like in the park on one of those little trains that just go around in a circle, and was on that, and they all this together.
I would have liked it if that was the outcome. I'm like, this movie is so fucked up. I love it. I don't know. I guess I just don't like the conventional shit. Like, it's like you said, it's not a bad movie. I don't know. Like, I want to give it some recognition because I felt people, did work hard on it to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
you can
not
feel the love.
It's useless.
because there's another scene on top of the train with the hobo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that like number one, why would it's a blizzard out there. Number one, you're on a train probably going about 90, fucking getting hit in the face, being pelted with snow, trying to talk to this hobo.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen this? Like reality.
Well, then there's that moment where the hobo's on top, and they go through a tunnel, and he just turns into like a puff of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What the fuck are you telling us in this movie?
Honestly, at that point, I would have believed in anything you told me if that motherfucker just disappeared right in front of my face.
But that's creepy because like the kids would be like, what if they get killed? Santa Claus is just this train going to Santa Claus is
he's that child killer.
like the whole
Anthony.
the conductor's technically the only one on the train, right? Until he asks them if they want refreshments, and then they come out singing this song, and there's tons of them, and they're all dressed the same, and they're dancing around and giving them hot chocolate and flipping around, and then they just leave, and you never see them again.
I guess you could say this movie was a fever dream. The part that made it magic is the fact that, like, if the kid didn't have the ghost there, he would have probably died of hypothermia. Let's be honest. The kid would have probably just sat out there on the top of the train. Like, if the ghost is actually a manifestation of the Polar Express itself to guide him through it. Because the conductor said a long time ago that he was saved by someone pulling him back when he fell off the Polar Express.
But I don't know. After him saying the line, I didn't even feel like anything. It didn't really relate to much at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I agree because I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think he would have had a bit of more of a more personal conversation with the boy then?
Because then the conductor wasn't really part of the story once they got to the North Pole and gave the first present.
And excuse me, he's a little snippy.
Shut up.
It's like the conductor is like very mean. Like, you would think he would try to like help the kids out, but I'm like,
It's a train
no.
for kids that they don't know where they're going. You show up at their fucking house just because it's always there. Then they go, come here, we'll give you all this shit. Hold on to this fucking ticket, because if you don't have this ticket, you are worthless.
Nobody can see the Great Oz, not nobody, not no how.
You are not allowed in. What? Then you get this snippy bitch.
Shut up.
That's like, okay, fine. You know what? Be mean to these kids. Why don't you just take them straight to hell? Because that's what it feels like for me. I'm sorry. I hate this movie.
No, because like,
this movie.
I hate it! I hate it!
I hate it.
if you seen them up top of the thing, I would have had enough common sense to just go through the train and go through the cars more than like get thrown.
It feels like it's trying to be too many things all at once.
But there's
And
no love.
You
sometimes.
lose all those things by the end because the movie seems to have a dramatic change.
Menopause.
Well, like I said, that's why like they stopped doing the musical part of it. It was like I didn't feel like that transition did not flow well. Not a bright colored movie. There's a lot of dark tones in it.
I thought you meant like emotionally. Like, you know, you have like Home Alone. That has fucking robbers coming in. It's still lighthearted. It's a lighthearted Christmas movie. You have the Santa Claus, still a bummer. Yeah, it's lighthearted, makes you feel good. Elf, weird, so funny, makes you feel good. I don't feel good watching this goddamn movie.
It's a sad Christmas movie, really.
But I think that's what makes it good. Like, hear me out. If this movie was a little more cheerful, half of its theme that it tries to tackle with how kids are growing up and how they have to change and everything wouldn't really work if it was like this bright, lighthearted movie. The way it presented itself works specifically for this movie within the context of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But if they would apply it to like the everyday person, it wouldn't translate well because it's not the movie you're expecting. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I respect it. Like I said, I would give it like 1 out of 5 just for the sheer respect of, yes, it's not that bad, and there are more worse movies out there. But no, it has its own way and shape for sure. Like, it's definitely outside the box of a Christmas film. I guess maybe that's why I'm turned off. I'm not sure, but it's just, I don't know. I try to like it. I just can't.
Polar Express, as a kid who had a tough time believing in anything, looking at the Polar Express and being like, I believe that want to believe and having it pay off in the end is a rewarding feeling to make a kid feel like, if I believe in something, and even if it doesn't come true, I at least have the want to believe in something, you know?
Yes.
And that could translate to many areas of a person's life. And that's why I feel like the movie can help build a person's hope for something and look forward to something better.
No, but I love that. I love that you feel like that. I'm just sorry I don't feel that way about it.
So what would you rate this movie out of 1 out of 5 stars?
The person in me want to say 10. Like, the little kid in me myself want to say 10, but for practicality's sake, I'm going with 3.5. It had some glaring, it had some glaring issues that needs to be addressed.
3.5, I did 2.2, and Nikki did 1 point.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just because somebody else makes a good point, like, you make very good points about this film, and
I'm not trying to change your mind.
No, I don't want to change your mind. That's what I'm trying to.
No.
You're like, I would give it a 10. Give it a 10. You love it. That's great. I don't want you to be like, oh, well.
Okay.
Right?
100.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I respect it. Like, just because someone doesn't like a movie doesn't mean someone else doesn't love that movie. You know, like, and you don't have to like ridicule them or, you know, bully them because they like something. Like, and this goes beyond just movies.
But no, see, that's a good point, because like you said, I love Jesse's point of view. I think that I wish I felt the same, like I said, but you know, I just can't get into it. But I like that it's special to him. You know, I like that.
Exactly.
There's not many things that make people smile or feel good now, and if that makes you feel good, go for it.
Exactly. 100%.
Because I was rewatching this movie and everything, and I was like, oh wow. I felt the same magic I did when I first watched it. I was like,
that's great.
God dang it. Why am I smiling like an idiot?
No, but see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, it doesn't matter what I say, you know, even if I like it, still doesn't matter what I say. You still have your reasons for feeling the way you feel about something.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
One part where they were fucking like, what was that? The train car, and the kids were walking on, and it was like icy. Like, they were walking the plank. Did you guys not feel that?
Honestly, I feel like them kids should have died like several times in this movie. First of all, they should have died. They should have died when they was on the ice. That train should not have made it on that track. I'm sorry. They should have died.
That one kid in there, the blonde like boy that they went after, does he not look like that fucking little kid on Malcolm in the Middle from the 90s?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I fucking
Yeah.
knew. I literally looked at that dude and I was like, why the
Dude.
fuck did he look familiar?
His name was Dewey in the middle. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
At least we all agree on that.
Yes. You know, Malcolm in the Middle brought us all together.
I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of us talking about Polar Express with Jesse.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely love having you guys, and anytime you want to put your opinion on a film, please feel free to join us. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. I really love being able to express my opinions today.
Oh, I'm so glad that you feel like I love that. I love it. I think everyone should be like in their own little safe space with people.
Check out our other channel or episodes as well, and check out the future episodes. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And we'll see you next week with Empire Records.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye, guys.